Hi guys, so like maybe around 45 minutes ago, I had just finished rewatching the Adventure Time finale off my PS5. And to be honest, today was actually my first time watching that finale from start to finish since I believe 2019. Not even a year after it premiered. Now, to be clear, I've gone back to parts of it since then, and I think this channel helps to prove it. But when it comes to actually watching it from start to finish like a normal cartoon episode, never really done it in the 2020s at all, I believe, up until today. So yeah, after seeing the finale, I want to let you guys know how I feel about it now. And spoiler alert, in case if I spoil anything, which I probably will. Yeah, let me talk about the finale. Now, I still really like it. I still think it's a really good finale to this day. It's got good emotions in it and all that stuff. Got good characters, and it's a nice sign off for the original Adventure Time series. However, I don't like it as nearly as much as I did when it first came out. Like when it first came out, I've talked about this before in my Adventure Time backstory video. But when that episode first came out, I loved it. I absolutely adored it. Like I thought it was not only a perfect ending for the series, but a perfect cartoon episode. Like me over 7 years ago would have rated that episode at least a 10 out of 10. And yeah, it makes sense why, because like I said in said backstory video, that finale came out like on the very day right after I not exactly when I stopped hating Adventure Time, but when I started to really fall in love with the series and become really obsessed with it. So yeah, that super recent obsession it was at the time was I guess enough to like brainwash myself into thinking that that episode was perfect, and I guess it was also enough to make me cry over said finale because like at the time they were ending a show that I had just like really fallen in love with at the time and considered it like literally my second favorite show ever, only being behind Dragon Ball. So yeah, getting more into the topic of emotions, how emotional is the finale to me to this day? It's still emotional, like at least during scenes where they sing songs like Time Adventure, Island Song, and like they play when they play that music at the end credits. And by the way, speaking of the Island Song scene that they do, like around the end of the episode, when that scene came up and I was watching it, I was getting goosebumps from that scene, possibly from eighth grade nostalgia. I remember even yelling, "Eighth grade nostalgia, stop!" in case of that was what it was. And if it wasn't from that, I guess it was from how much I like that Island Song. And yeah, the episode's still emotional, but it's not as nearly as emotional to me as it was over 7 years ago. As like I said before, that finale would make me cry. And yeah, I think I've talked about before. I'm pretty sure I talked about this before about that finale becoming less emotional to me over time. But yeah, over 7 years ago, I was like crying over that finale. Not exactly when I first watched it, but yeah, I've cried over that finale many times after seeing it. And now, me as a 21-year-old man, yeah, it's still emotional, but it doesn't come anywhere close to making me cry, or probably even like making my eyes water, to be honest. Although I guess you could argue that maybe mainly because that episode wasn't exactly the end of the Adventure Time franchise, because since then they've done like that Distant Lands thing I have on DVD and that Fiona and Cake spin-off series. But I also think it could maybe be more likely because like some of my love of Adventure Time has fallen off eventually since that episode came out. Now I still love Adventure Time and I still think it's a great series, but yeah, I also think that Cartoon Network has made better shows out there. But I still love Adventure Time. I still think it's a great show. Like I'm just like not as nearly as like biased about it, or like maybe even not as nearly as obsessed over it as I used to be. And now looking back at this finale, I would say that regular show had maybe I would say a way more emotional finale to it than Adventure Time. Even though that show is supposed to be coming back in under 2 months, but yeah. And I think I would maybe also say that Ed, Edd n Eddy has a more emotional Cartoon Network finale to it than Adventure Time. But yeah, again, like I said before, I still think it's a really good episode, and I want to go more in depth with why I still like the episode to this day. I think it's got good storytelling, good build up to the big war they have at the second half, great songs, nice emotional scenes, good action, and yeah, I guess like the kissing scenes they do are cool. However, I feel possibly the older I get, the more I realize that those scenes are fan service. But still, those scenes are cool, especially that one between Bubblegum and Marceline. And could this episode still be like among my top 10 favorite Adventure Time episodes? Possibly not, but hey, I still really like it, and I apologize if I'm repeating myself too much in this video. So, yeah, there you guys have it. That's my retrospective video on the Adventure Time finale. Still great, still a really good episode of a great show, I would say. Just not as nearly as crazy about it as I was over 7 years ago. And that's just the way it is. Sometimes opinions change drastically over time. But yeah, if you guys want to, you can let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about this finale, and I guess let me know whether or not you like it more or less than you did when it first came out. And yep, don't have much more to say. So bye, you guys. Have a good rest of your day, and thanks for listening to this.